Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about interview, and that we are going to discuss elaborately about the different types of interview, and then first one methods of interview, stages of an interview and modes of an interview. Finally we are going to discuss about different types of interview. And that is the interview makes an important part of recruitment process. They are meant to assess the candidate to select the correct candidate for the correct job. I mean, the job interview is an interview consisting of a conversation between the interviewer and the candidate, mainly to assess whether the candidate should be hired or not. The interview makes is a very important one for employee selection. And now we are going to discuss about the methods of interview. And then that is under the methods of interview, there are two important methods are used by the interviewer, that is individual interview and group interview. Individual interview is nothing but these interviews are one-on-one interview, that is between the interviewer and the candidate. This kind of interview is conducted. Mainly this kind of interview is very helpful one to analyze the detailed assessment of the candidate, and also the accurate judgment of the candidate is possible for the interviewer. And the next we are going to discuss about the group interview. Group interview is nothing but when there are multiple candidates for applying for the job. In that case, this kind of interview is helpful one to the interviewer. And also the main benefit or this kind of interview helps in screening accelerate to screening and recruiting process. Next we are going to discuss about the stages of an interview, and that we have three different stages are there. The first one is shortlisted candidates are contacted, and the second stage is the candidates are technically assessed by the interviewer, and finally the negotiation with the selected candidate. That is the first stage. They are screening their candidate by shortlisting their based on their qualification and the requirement of the concern. They are shortlisting their candidate. And the second stage is the candidate are assessed by the interviewer technically. That is the technical knowledge of the candidate is assessed by the interviewer by asking skill based questions to the candidate. Take for example, asking some giving some situations or any problem to the candidate. By solving the problem, the interviewer analyzing the problem solving technique of the candidate also is analyzed by the interviewer. The third stage is negotiation with the selected candidate. In this stage, the interviewer this candidate after completing all the interview rounds, they need to contact HR team. Mainly they are discussing about the HR team and the selected candidate. They are discussing about the salary level and the employment terms and conditions. Especially in this stage, they need to communicate or disseminate the information of the company's rules and regulations and the formalities. All those things they need to communicate with the selected candidate. Next we are going to discuss about the modes of an interview. In this mode, we have many organizations, they are following three modes used by the interviewer. The first one is that is telephonic interview, and the second one is face-to-face interview, and the third one is video interview. Telephonic interview is nothing but the interviewer conducted interview with the candidate through telephone. The main purpose of this type of interview is they can eliminate the geographical distance and also the candidate, and also to remove the interview anxiety to the candidate is possible through this kind of telephonic interview. Next we are going to discuss about the face-to-face interview. Face-to-face interview is nothing but the interviewer and the candidate, they are meet in person, or they discuss about their profile, especially the candidate's profile. In this type of this mode of interview is very useful one for the interviewer, because they can analyze about the persons or candidates communication skills, their problem solving skills and the decision making skills. All those things they can analyzed by asking question to the candidate, the way he replies to the answer. All those things can be analyzed through this kind of through this mode of interview. The next we are going to discuss about video interview. Video interview is nothing but the interviewer conduct interview with the candidate through video call. Especially during the peak period of COVID-19, this type of interview is very helpful one for both the interviewer as well as the candidate. They can conduct the interview very in a smooth manner. The next slide we are going to discuss about the types of interview. Under that we have structured interview, unstructured interview, stress interview, panel interview, and then case interview. Final one is that is off-site interview. And the first one, that is structured interview, is nothing but the interviewer is a pre-planned one. Structured interview is nothing but it's a pre-planned one. That is, the interview questions is already prepared by the interviewer before they going to conduct any type of interview. This structured one is a very accurate one. It's very advisable one for the interviewer, because it's easily conducted one, easy one to conduct the interview in a smooth manner. The second one is unstructured interview. Unstructured interview is nothing but it's not a pre-planned one or unplanned one. The interviewer asks the questions, during the time of interview, they ask the question to the candidates spontaneously. In this type of interview is very helpful also, because they can the candidates, depending upon the candidates' ability, they can analyze the questions. They can prepare the questions on their own spontaneously. The next one is stress interview. Stress interview is nothing but this kind of interview is conducted to the candidate mainly to assess by providing some situations or any case studies to the candidate, because they can analyze the stressful conditions of the candidate. They are especially the interviewer, they are conducting this kind of a stressful interview mainly to assess the stressful conditions. In the period of, say, take for example, if the candidate is facing some problems, if the interviewer provides this situation or any problem in a critical manner, in that case also how they can respond, how they can reply to the situations. All those things will be analyzed by the interviewer. The next one is we are going to discuss about the panel interview. As the name indicates, it means the interview, this kind of interview is conducted by group of people. The candidates are closely watched by the panel members of the group. So they need to be, the candidate need to be very conscious while answering the question to the panel members. And also the next one is we are going to discuss about the case interview. Case interview is nothing but interviewer gives some situation or any problem to the candidate, mainly to assess how they are responding, how they are replying, how they are facing the situation. This kind of a thing, that is, take for example, that may be imaginary one or real life problem that is given to the candidate, that how they are responding, how they are replying to that situations. Through this kind of an interview, they can analyze the person's personality, how they are behave, how the candidates behave. The strength and weakness of the candidate will be analyzed by this kind of interview. The final one is off-site interview. Off-site interview is nothing but these type of interviews conducted the interviewer and the candidate meet at a place other than the office. The main reason behind that to conduct this kind of interview is to analyze the candidate's personality outside the world, that how they are performing, how they are responding, how they are behaving in the outside the place other than the office. This will be analyzed by this type of interview. Before for the students' sake, I wish to say some information about how to face the interview and all. Before they go into any type of interview, they need to be very confident in them. They need to prepare as much as information about the company's profile, especially company's origination of company, and then their strength and weakness. All those things should be prepared by the candidate. Before they go into attend any type of interview, they need to provide as much information which is required for the interviewer, and also they need to be very confident to communicate the information. The communication skill should be developed by the students or the candidate, as well as they need to give some his problem solving technique also should be created, developed by the candidate before they go into attend any type of interview. And then especially the strength and weakness should be analyzed. That is, self-realization is very much important for every candidate. So before they go into attend any type of interview, they need to self-realize, realize about themselves. What are the qualities they have, the candidates should have, and how they can perform in the platform of interview. And then what are the techniques should be adapted while to get the job for the particular company. All those things they need to be very careful before they go into attend any type of interview. That's all to students. Thank you very much. Next class we are going to discuss about the leadership qualities. Thank you.